a little bit faster. So yeah, I mean, with this one, please feel free to ask questions when I give you time, but I cannot make it like I cannot talk too much or too less, you know, because the main reason is I'll show you different techniques and how I work, you know. So when it gets to the classes and it's the time that you show me how you work, then we can be way more interactive. Yeah, so thank you so much. I'm going to start the other thing is sometimes I cannot explain why I'm mixing this color to this color, again, because it would be too much for some people and too boring. So I'm going to start from white, you know, and go around or into rows, starting, normally I start with the lighter colors and I go towards the white. So towards the dark, sorry. So I'm starting with white. And then ochre. Obviously we have lots of ochre on this painting, so I'm going to add cadmium yellow, a little bit of flesh tint that I have, and also I have another pink that I really like. This one, Classico Memory brand. This is the only one that I keep in this brand. It's number 214 or 214. So I'm going to add that one as well. I like to add some pinks because it makes it easier at the moment for me. So then orange, red again, two reds, one cold, one warm. So my warm one is cadmium red, artist, and then artist in Mizinichen, and then Liz-Ren Crimson in order to put cold red as well, so two reds. And then I'm going to add cerulean blue, at least two blues. So one is again cold, which is cerulean, and the other one is warm, ultramarine blue. And then greens, I'll do sap green, or you can do Australian leaf green dark if you like. Australian leaf green dark in AS. So I do sap and cadmium green pale, which I love. Mixture of this one with pink, it gives you a really nice highlight on the whiter skin tone. And I'm going to add a little bit of, these are optional, I mean raw sienna is optional, but I like the middle tone that raw sienna and dioxazine purple is, yeah. So dioxazine purple and raw sienna is going to give me dioxazine purple. I'm not fussy with the brand because it's a safe pigment, so you can do any. Or you have, if you have any other purple, you can use that one. Even violet will do. In AS, violet, and this is brown burnt sienna. And I'm going to do one Van Dyke brown too, which is darker version of burnt sienna. If you don't have Van Dyke brown, that's okay. You can just use a little bit of burnt sienna with ultramarine blue. You can mix it together. It will give you Van Dyke brown, which is a darker version of brown. So, and I'm going to show you a little bit of drawing, like not really complicated like sketch for the drawing, but again, because this is not a class, it's just a demo, I'm just going to explain roughly and a little bit faster if you don't mind. And then doesn't matter if you don't do the likeness, because the main purpose of doing this is to make it more like realistically rendered. You're not doing the likeness here, but I try to make it as close as possible to that one in terms of the likeness as well. So is the volume good for all of you? Everyone can hear me well?
Yep, I can.
Yes, Sally, all good.
Yeah, so you don't want me to turn it higher or lower, no?
Perfect.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
great.
Okay, so I'll bring this a little bit forward. Okay, so last time I was told that it was hard to see my drawing on the canvas, so I tried to make it a little bit harder, like apply more pressure to make this a little bit darker that everybody can see. And this one is with red. I've drawn that with red, but just in terms of making it a little bit of, in order to make it a little bit more like visible, I'm going to make it again with this one and I'll explain. So I have this that I can draw the same way that I did the drawing last time. So for myself, I'll start with the iris and the pupil there. So if you say, oh, you can make it as big as you like. So you can make it like that big. You can make it as big as mine. But I did it because the size of my canvas was like that. And by the way, again, I'm using disposable canvases. And as I said, these are canvases, they are not cardboards. And they're already gessoed. So that's the pupil that I'll put in there. You see, I made it this big. And then you can put your pencil down there underneath of the, along the corner of the eye here to see what's the angle between the upper eyelid and your pencil, the edge of your pencil. So if I put a line here like this for myself, I try not to make it really dark because then it makes the white area of the eye muddy. So, or you can put one pencil here, one pencil there, like this, and you can see better what's the angle, like a triangle there. So I'll do that angle like this here, okay? And I'm not going to do the eyelashes, and I'm going to put a little bit of hint for myself where the flesh area of the eye go here. You can see a triangle there, so I'll put a hint there. And then, so in this case, I can divide it into like sections that I see, okay, that's the flesh area, and that's the white area of the eye, and then this is the iris. So I can start the iris from here. I think it should be fine around there. And it's not round, just make sure that you make an oval shape. Because when you're looking at someone like forward, like that, straight, and then you can make it round. But in this case, it's angled, so this has to be an oval shape. So I'm trying to make that oval shape here. It's a little bit faded there, so I'll try not to put too much focus on that part as well. It's a bit faded here. Yeah? So, and then I'm going to add another line underneath, and then you have the thickness of the eyelashes, a lower eyelash. The one here, you have a white line across the eye here, so I'll put that one as well. And then I'm going to do the white area on the left here, like a triangle again, and try to make it proportionally correct compared to the iris, okay? And then again, like a really narrow triangle for the flesh area of the eye there. See, I'll put it here, make it a little bit darker, then you can see which one I'm talking about. And then that's a light area on top for the actual upper eyelid, okay? And that area is the shadow there, which I'm not going to do at the moment, but this area here, it's a little like a sort of a square, or like, to be exact, it's more like a rectangular shape here. I'm not going to do it now. And then we have the darkness, the shadow on the top of the upper eyelid, okay? And then I'm going to do that white area here because it shows me where the color changes from this to that. So that's that, okay? And then that's the darkness there. And I'll put this line a little bit inside that darkness because this is the middle tone. Okay, the main area of the darkness is in the middle, and then I'll have middle tones between the darkest dark and lightest light. And then again, it gives you again sections that you can see. Okay, from here to there is my dark, and there to there is a mid-tone. There to there is a mid-tone, and then the lighter area is like twice as big as this one, the middle part. So if that's the middle, then twice bigger should be around there. Okay, and then again I'll put another line here from the corner of the right eye, like a straight, all the way through on the face here to see where does it cross, or how much gap do I have in between this eye and the eye on the left hand side. So I'm going to start it around there because I can see around that much gap here. And again, I go on top and I do the iris, sorry, pupil first. So that's the pupil, and then dark brown around it, and then again, it's faded here, so I'm not going to put focus on that. On the bottom of the iris, it's getting faded to the white area of the eyeball, so I'm not going to put that much focus on that one. So, and that's that, and that's that one. Again, we are going to make these ones faded, so try not to make it too dark. Okay, and then that's done. And here again I have a shadow there, and that's the cheekbone, and that's the darkness of the darkness underneath of the eye here. So I'm going to do that one as well. And then for the hair, I'm going to make it a bit inside the hair part, you know. So in this way, I can do the face a little bit, like I can extend it a bit, and then go inside the hair a bit, and then put the strands of the hair on top of it. So it makes it like see-through or nicer to look at. See, it's just a little bit see-through here. Okay, so that's why I'll make it a little bit like shorter. In the first place, I do the face skin tone area first, and then I'll put the hair on top of it. Okay. And again, where does the color change? Here. And that one there. Okay. I'm trying to be as thorough as I could for the drawing. So now, I know many of you might not have this, but if you're doing watercolor, water-based oil, you should be fine. But if you're doing oil, for myself, I do a little bit of wash underneath of this with my acrylic first because it makes it way faster and nicer afterwards. I do a little bit of wash with the like middle tones, not really dark, not really light. And then I'll try to do the contrast and everything with the oil on top, okay? So basically I'm going to make like a pretty basic pink. My acrylics are not really like expensive ones, it's just cheapy ones. They're not too cheap, but I mean, I'm not fussed about the acrylics because I'm just using them for a little bit of the wash. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit of warm yellow, like cadmium yellow and cadmium red hue. Basically what I have, you know, is this one, and I have another red, which is colder red, the same as oil. By the way, if you're not sure, if from next week I'm going to do the actual classes, if you're not sure which level you're at, you can give me an email or message me, and if you are new to my classes, then you can send me some of your photos, then a photo of your paintings that I can tell what level you should be at. But even if you think, oh, I'm not sure, I know some stuff, not other stuff, you can start with either of those classes, intermediate or beginner, and then after 1 or 2 sessions, you can change it if you find it too slow or too fast. So and I'm going like the same thing. I'm going to do find one photo and then divide the classes, then you know which class or which reference photo you would like to do, and I'll try to again make it more like different techniques with different reference photos. So after these 2 demos, you know mostly how it works, so you can tell better for yourself. So I need to have a little bit of water as well. Sorry, I forgot the water. So this is my water. And now I'm going to do a really light wash first. In this case, I'm not going to lose my drawing. Okay. So I'm going to use another palette like this that I can show you a smaller palette that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to use, see, the other thing for your information, this reference photo and the other reference photo, they are both new to me, and this is the first time in my life that I'm doing it. So I think as I go, you know, so they are not planned. I haven't done anything before with these photos. I just found them on the like free to download, free to copy on these websites that you can find them. You can go and search for yourself and you can find these photos there. So, I mean, I haven't had any practice on these ones before. So I'll decide what I'll do as I go and what is the fastest and the easiest way to render these. So I'm trying to make this. I can use a little bit of ochre as well because I don't want to make it too bright or too dull. So I'm going to have a little bit of the ochre as well on my. See, by the way, this is my palette for the acrylics. And a little bit of water because I want to make it dry really, really fast. Okay. Right. If you don't have acrylics, that's fine. You don't need to do any wash. Okay. You just I do the wash because I want to make it faster in order to make it shorter to be able to finish this off with one sitting. But if you have time, definitely you can do layers. So you don't need to do the wash. You just bear with me. I'll do the wash when I start doing the actual painting. Then you can start to do the actual painting with the oil with me. So let me check here what's my colour. Okay, not bad, but I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. Again, a little bit more ochre because that one is not too pink. Sorry, a touch of ochre, a touch of. Okay, so if you have questions, since I'm doing the wash, I have time. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Anybody? And there is no silly question. You can ask any question. Yeah, now I'm happy with this now. No one has any question? Oh, and everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, so I'm doing the wash like this.
Sally?
Yes, Teresa?
Teresa, the pencil that you're drawing, is that a standard HB pencil and does it move or smudge when you're painting?
A little bit because as I said, because people told me they cannot see the drawing last time. So normally I try not to go with the dark pencil. I go with red, which doesn't smudge and it's not as dark. But then for the purpose of making that more visible, I did this one with 4B. But for myself, in real life, no, I won't do that. I'll go with red. Yeah, so
and
that's
is that
why
a standard lead pencil red or wouldn't be pastel?
No, just normal red pencil, like cheapy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go
Mm-hmm.
with Faber-Castell red. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but this one, yeah, if you can see smudges, yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Why red, Sally?
Why red? Marguerite, is it you?
Hello, it's me.
I can tell by your voice, not by the computer. It's just computer name is something really long.
Oh,
It's something.
oh,
Yeah, it's just numbers.
oh.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question again?
I say, why do you use red?
Red on my wash?
No, on the pencil.
Oh, because it doesn't smudge. You can see,
Oh, okay.
but it doesn't smudge and it doesn't hurt. Like, for example, for this one, I have lots of light areas, really clean areas that I don't want to make it you know, muddy. And that's why she said this smudges, Teresa, because she can see it smudges here, which is not
Oh,
good.
I see. Yep.
And the other purpose that I do this wash, the other purpose is that let me add a little bit of ochre in some areas. I want to make it a little bit red. The other purpose is that I can get rid of the pores of the canvas. See?
Oh, I see. Yes.
Okay, so then when I go on top, I'm not really pedantic about getting rid of the canvas and make it like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like neat and clean. So that's
Yeah.
another thing. Yeah.
Sally, what brand is your canvas, disposable canvas that you're using?
Let me see. This one is Montmartre. Yeah, this one is Montmartre. You know,
Okay.
Montmartre, the yeah.
Yes, Montmartre. Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. But this is the really old one. So hopefully they still have the same sort of quality. I'm really happy with that, and it's exactly what I want in terms of the texture. Yeah. So I'm just going to do it like this and make sure that I don't have any like whiteness of the canvas coming through. Okay, and I'll try to make it a little bit like thin in order not to cover all drawings, because I've seen some people doing this mistake in the class, and they just, instead of doing the wash, they make it thicker and the whole drawing is gone after a while. Especially if you do red, you have to be really careful with that. And also the other thing that I'm going to do now, hopefully everyone has seen the lines here, okay? I'm going to erase the lines there. Eraser. Okay. Sorry, I get my eraser and I will do it with. Yeah, I'm going to erase this line off. Okay, even if you erase it totally, you can still see the line there. Okay, which is a good thing, because that one is completely faded, and this is really important, otherwise it doesn't give you the depth and it doesn't go any angle, you know. I'll have to make this eye, as you can see on the photo, faded, and this line, the edge of the face, completely faded. Even here. But the good thing is you can still see the pencil line coming through, so the chance of losing the drawing is 0. And get rid of any unnecessary lines that you have in there. Even if I have red pencil, I get rid of the lines, because it gets my paintings, it makes my paintings, my paints muddy. So I get rid of any unnecessary line there. Even here in the middle of the eyeball, the white area especially, I don't want to make it dirty, I want to keep it clean. And then I have a little bit of green in acrylics, and I'm going to do that green a bit there. Okay, the main reason is because it gives me the contrast and it gets dry, and it gives this one a little bit of time to dry as well. Okay, so I'm going to do These ones brown and muddy green. Okay, for the color there. As I said, if you're using water-based oil, you can add more water into your mixture, and it gets dry faster. You can let it dry, and then come back maybe in half an hour or 1 hour, and do that. Do the top with the stiff paint. But the reason that I'll do this, that I like acrylic over the for my painting, is because it just dries really fast, and I can go straight on top without any delay. So now mixing the brown, and doesn't matter if it's not the exact color, because I'll go on top if I'm not happy with the color with my oil. Just want to first, as I said, get rid of the canvas, and second have a contrast there. Depends on your taste. You can make it darker or lighter. I'm trying to add a patch of the muddy blue. So the thing that I'm going to do today is the technique is realism. So it's not like as fast as the last session, but you can do even the face and impressionism as well, like the same technique that I did last session, but with the face. And by the way, after I've done this, hopefully I'll remember that I'll show you the last time painting as well that I finished, because some people had to leave us last time, so they didn't get the chance to see what happened at the end. And I hope everybody's on mute, please, because maybe it distracts the other people. And when I go around the face, around there, I'll try to make it a little bit even more faded and a little bit lighter. See here, I add more white to my mixture, which was mainly green and brown. So I can do a little bit of red and green this time with white. So when I go around the face, it's not as thick as I had in there. Again, the same purpose. I don't want to make it too harsh or too much of a hard line. And I'll go a little bit inside the face as well. See, I can see my lines there. But I'll go a little bit, just smidgen inside the face. Because then when I do the highlights and I want to do the fading, I can freely go on top of it. So I'll not end up having a gap in between. With the gap, then I'm going to have a problem. I need to put the painting back on again. So it's finished with the acrylics. So I'll give this one a little bit of time, like 5 minutes, 2 minutes to dry. I'll show you this one. This is the finished product of the last time. Hopefully everybody can see. I'll bring it even a little bit, zoom in. See, I did a little bit of glazing on the ground, not much. Because again, I didn't have time on that day. It's just as far as I could go on that day. But obviously and definitely you can go on top again and again, and you can add more details. But this was what I got on that day. I think I still need to
That's
add.
beautiful, Sally.
Thank
That's
you.
beautiful.
Thank you so much.
The mist in the background is just lovely.
Thank you. And I think still I need to add more branches there, like middle tone branches, because I've got the lighter ones, darker ones, but not the middle tones. So I need to add more branches there, and then add more leaves here, make these ones a little bit more obvious with the color pens, palette knife and stuff like that. So yeah, still you can work on this as long as you like, but that was what I achieved on that day. So I'll take a photo of this one and I'll send it to you if it helps. And the other thing is, see, it has the actual texture. I don't know if you can see. If I do it like this, then maybe you can see. So with the actual texture, when you put it under the spotlight, then you can get the real shadow underneath of these. So even it makes it way nicer to look at, and it jumps out. And it gives you a nicer depth there. So that's that. Now we're starting doing painting part. I mean the oil part. Obviously we were doing painting. So anybody has any questions? I'll take it as no. No?
Hi, Sally.
Hey, how are you?
Very good, very good. Sorry, I just missed the first part. So, till now you have done just acrylics?
Yeah, just acrylics, because I wanted to get it dry.
Yep.
And I want to get the mid-tones that I'll make it faster when I go on top with oil. Yeah, and it's already dry. See?
Oh, great. Cool. Thank you.
No worries. So now I'm going to get a really small round brushes that I have. Okay, so because I'm mainly going to do sort of, if you say, sort of drawing. So, many of you know, I'll put a stick under my hand that I can put my hand on it, so it makes it steadier for me to do the lines. So I'm going to start with the acrylics aside, that sometimes I can take this palette to show you what I'm doing. So by the way, this is my palette. I just named my colors, but I didn't show you what I did on my palette. So that's that. And with a small round brush, I'm going to do the dark areas of the eye first. So brown, burnt sienna, and blue, or if you have Van Dyke brown, like go straight on Van Dyke brown, darkest brown that you have. If you don't have it, just stick to ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, the normal brown. Mix these two together, it gives you a really dark, like a brownish dark color. And I'm going to do the upper eyelid first. And if you feel like it's hard to move your paint on your canvas, you can add again a touch of oil. Really a touch. And I'll try to make it a little bit thicker as I go down there. And then basically I'm just doing drawing with my brush. I can see the dark there too, dark brown, really dark. It's not black because this photo, what I see black is the pupil. What I can see in complete black is the pupil. The rest of them are really dark brown, like as I said, like Van Dyke brown. So I try not to make it black all over. So this is my Van Dyke brown that I'm doing here on top. There. And then a little bit of just burnt sienna with the leftover, whatever you have on your brush. I'm just going to do the bottom of the lower eyelid. I'm going to add a little bit of cadmium red or alizarin crimson, any red that you have into it. Make it a little bit redder because it's going towards pink. It's a dark pink. Okay, as I said, I'm not going to make the colors now. I'm just, in order not to lose the drawing, I'm going to make the dark lines around it first. Okay, so now I'm going to use a bit like a bigger flat brush, bigger than my round one, I mean, but it's still, I'm using a small brushes, so if you don't have a flat one, you might be able to find this one in your set from Office Works. So then I'm going to first make these colors here in order to give me the contrast, the middle tones here, there, and then I'll put the iris and the eyeball there. Now I'm going to use a little bit of my pink and green, cadmium green pale and the pink. So I'll show you again here. Do you see what's happening on my palette? This is the Van Dyke brown that I made. Okay, that one. With this one, ultramarine blue and brown, or if you have Van Dyke brown, you can straight use Van Dyke brown, otherwise burnt sienna and blue. So now I'm going to make pink. If you don't have pink, that's fine. You can add lots of white into your alizarin crimson. So tone it down with white, and then it gives you a nice pink. And then after you have done it, you can add a little bit of lighter, any light green that you have in it in order to make it muddier. So in general, what I forgot to explain, in general, when I want to make skin tone for the white people, for the white skin people, I'm going to do ochre, cadmium red and white. Okay, and then after that I'm adding all of the other colors like purple, greens, blues into my mixture in order to get different variety of the colors that you have around the face. As I said, I cannot explain everything at the moment. When we do classes, I'll try to explain thoroughly and really slow. At the moment, the main reason that I'm doing this is to show you realism technique on the face. So when you've made that one, the white, the light pink color, you put it here. So again, it gives you a little bit of the contrast there. If you think that your pink, I have done pink underneath already. So at the moment, I'm just trying to do mainly the green and white. So my mixture is mainly the green and white at the moment because I've done the, see that's my mixture with the leftover of the pink that I have on my brush because I've already done the pink bits underneath. So in this way, it gives me a good contrast that I can see what's the darkest dark, what's the lightest light here. Okay, so now I'm going to do with my round, with my round small brush, I'm going to make black with the black that I'm going to make, the main colors that I'm using. Sorry, let me grab something that I'll put my dirty brush. Okay, so how I'm going to make black is with sap green or alizarin, Australian leaf green dog in AS, and alizarin crimson, which is the darkest red. So darkest green, darkest red, and darkest blue. Oh, sorry, I'm mixing here. And then I'll try to balance them out in order to get like a really muted black. Okay, if it goes towards purple, it means that you've done too much of these two, blue and red. If it goes to then you need to add green, or if it goes towards red too much or green too much, it means anything that you have too much in your mixture, you need to add the third color. So with purple, you add more green. With brown, you add more red. I think I'm good now. going to do the iris there. This is black now. Okay. And then wipe your brush. Then I can see around the black area of the iris, I can see brown. So I'm just going straight with burnt sienna, and I use burnt sienna around that one. So now we're just doing like stripes, round and round stripes. The first one in the middle was black. The second stripe, you can use a little bit of oil as well if your brush doesn't move or you ended up having too many pores on your canvas, too many light areas coming through. You just add a little bit of oil. So it goes inside the pores of your canvas and it fills it up. So you can see the flash of light, like a white color in the middle there. Can you see that white there? I'm not going to do anything on that yet. Okay, so I go around that white and let that be. Okay. Because if you can use the whiteness of your canvas at the moment, why not? So I'll just leave it as is, because that's the whitest white on my painting. So I can use the whiteness of my canvas to get the shape right at the moment. So I'm going to leave that dot there. In some areas around that line that you go around the pupil, the brown area of the iris, when you go around it, you can see it gets even a little bit lighter. So you can add ochre to your burnt sienna as well. So mainly what I do after doing the pupil with black, I'm just doing the round. Again, when I say round, it's oval. Okay, it's not round, like circle. Okay, so I'm going to make that one first, and then the same mixture. So I'll show you again what I'll do. So this is my burnt sienna straightforward that I did around the iris, around the pupil. And then this is the burnt sienna with a little bit of ochre that I do in some areas when the brown line gets a little bit lighter. And then I'll add a little bit of ultramarine blue into my brown for the darkness around the iris, the line that goes around the iris here, there. Okay, so that's my line there. You can make sure I can see like a slight angle, easing angle. That line is a little bit like this. So the top left goes towards left, and the bottom right goes towards right. So it's a little bit like this. Okay. So make sure that you don't make it like the other way around, or or make it too straight, because that has a little bit of curve in it too. And here on the other side, I can see the line up there. So as far as I can see, I'll put it there. If you cannot see that, don't put it. Okay, I cannot see that line continuously down there, so I don't do it. Okay, Now, I'm going to add, you can wash your brush, or if you don't have whatever solvent to wash your brush, you can just simply dab it in oil and then wipe it off. Okay, but I washed mine. Okay, yeah, sorry. So now I'll just go straight again. I'll show you. I'll just go straight with cadmium yellow that I'll have. Okay, so I'll put the cadmium yellow there on the left hand side first, starting with the cadmium yellow. And then as I go towards right, I can do white, cadmium yellow, and a touch of cadmium green pale. I can feel a little bit of green on that. I know some people are laughing at the moment, but after a while everybody can see colors. So see, that's my color at the moment, but it's mainly cadmium yellow. Okay, but I'll add a touch of green into it too, and white as much as I need. I need to put a little bit on that, see what happens. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this color. I want to keep this area really bright. So even if it's brighter than I can see there, I'm happy to go brighter at the moment. And then when you get to the bottom part, you can make it a little bit faded and mixed. Okay. So now I'm going to do the white area of the eyeball. Now, I was using this one for this area before. I'll wipe it off, or as I said, you can wash it. Oh, by the way, no one has got any questions? No?
Sally, sorry, just a question regarding your palette.
Sure.
That looks like a big palette. Is it some sort of disposable palette you're using? Just curiosity.
Yeah, that's the disposable. Sorry, I'll make this a little bit higher that I can hear you better. Yeah, this is the disposable palette. That is too big. I bought this online long time ago. See, it's like
Okay.
3-4 times bigger than my canvas.
Yeah. So these are
Yeah.
just sheets, and you throw them away when you
Yeah,
use them.
but you can use them. Yeah, this is disposable as well that I was using for my acrylics. Yeah, you can
Sure.
use smaller ones.
Sure. Thank you.
No worries. So now I'm going to make no further questions. No one has got any questions.
Yes, Sally, I have.
Sure.
Where you mentioned stripes. Where were you doing?
Yeah, you go ahead. Sorry.
Where were you doing that? I know it's in the eye, but where were you doing stripes in her
See,
eye?
if you imagine that this is the darkness of the pupil, this is the
Yeah.
black, then you have one stripe around it, which is
I see it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
like around the stripe, like burnt sienna,
Yeah.
and around this stripe on the like upper areas here, it gets darker. There it gets a little bit lighter. Again, you have another stripe around that one, like there, which is the cadmium yellow that I did.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it changes as you.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of grey on the white area of the eye. So it may look white, but if you compare it to the whiteness of that dot, the flash of light, then you realize that it's not white. So if you're not sure, you can use your tone finder that I showed you last time. For people who are joining us for the first time, this time I'll show you what is the tone finder. But even with the comparing, like if you say the whitest white of the eye is a flash of light that you have there, okay, even with that, you can tell this is not white, then this is like a light grey that as you go to the corner, it gets darker. So for the ones who doesn't know how to make grey, you can just simply use your Payne's grey if you have Payne's grey. Okay? But I'll show you how you can make grey too. So see this Payne's grey, okay? Or if you have black, you can just use black and white, okay? But this is not a professional way of making grey. At the moment, I'm just telling the ones that are new or beginners that are joining us to just, if you want to keep up doing this. So if you have black, just use black and white with a little bit of white, with a little bit of blue into it, cerulean blue. But the good way of making black was the one that I showed you in the first place, and obviously the best way to do the grey is to add white into your black that you've already done before. So yeah, that's my tone finder. If you want to make sure that what's that color, how grey that is, you can put one of those tone finders there on your reference photo and the other one on your canvas before and after you have done it. So at the moment you can see how dark that is in comparison to the whiteness of the canvas that I have here. Okay, so obviously we need to make grey then. So I've done black before. I can simply add white into it, and then if it goes towards any of those colors, like a little bit redder, a little bit greener, anything that you're not happy with, you can add the other one of those three to make it balance. But as I said, at the moment, if you just have grey or black, you can use that one to keep up with this painting. And I can see when it goes around the flesh area, it's getting really dark and it has like a tint of red in it too. See, when I do grey compared to that, it's just too grey. I need to add a little bit of red into it as well. So another one that I told you on my email that I sent to you, I'll ask you to have this one in the future, at least if you're going to do the portrait, or at the moment for this painting, was one of those earth colors, which the one that I'm using at the moment is Terra Rosa. So you can use Terra Rosa, Indian red, light red, Venetian red. So whatever you have, I've got this one, Artist in Winsor Newton, Terra Rosa, which I like. And this is a really opaque color, so just make sure that you're not going to use too much of it, otherwise it takes over everything. So I use a little bit of that Terra Rosa. See how it makes it really deep and dark, and it gives it a little bit of that reddish tint that we're looking for. So Terra Rosa and black. sorry, I mean turquoise over black and white. And again, a little bit of terra rosa by itself here for the flesh tone there in the corner of the eye there. Okay, and you can use a little bit of where are we here? Ultramarine blue in it as well. So this is my terra rosa, and this is, if you want to make it muddier, you can use a little bit of your ultramarine blue. In order to make your terra rosa muddy, you can use purple, dark satin purple, which is dark purple, ultramarine blue, or sap green, or would work nicely with that. It depends how dark you want to make it. Obviously with ultramarine blue, you can make it way darker than the other two. So there, I'm going to put another line there. I'll try not to go on that white area of the lower eyelid. And then a little bit of cerulean blue and white to whatever I have on my, see, it's still grey with the tint of Venetian red or whatever earth colour that you have here. So I'm doing the white area. A little bit darker on top because it gets the shadow of the upper eyelid. And as I go towards the bottom, I'm adding more white into that here. And then in order to make it nicer to look at and more muted from grey, you know, because grey is like not really natural for the eyeball. So I'm going to add a touch of ochre into that as well. So see, at the moment my colour is the one on the bottom here with a touch of ochre. So as you go down, because it gets more light, I'll make it a little bit lighter. And then I'll try to add a little bit of like, not exactly, but you can see the shadow of the eyelashes on the white area of the eyeball as well. So I'm going to add a little bit of that shadow. So simply I'll just drag that dark down. See the dark that I put on top? Just drag some of them down with the tip of my brush. So it gives me the like illusion of having that the shadow of the eyelashes on the eyeball. If you find this too big or too hard, like you can use a really tiny brown brush, so you can see exactly where does it go. Okay, now here, again, before I do that lighter slide, I'm going to do this area here, the darker area, because it gives me the contrast between the light and dark. So that one is, again, the reddish color on the flesh area of the corner of the eye is, see, I'll bring this again to show you. Sorry, that's big, that's why it's hard for me to hold it. So it's my Terra Rosa and the lightest green that I have there. So I add until I see that one gets a little bit lighter, and it's not as red as the raw color that I used in the first place. And again, as I said, you can add, if you realize that your brush doesn't move, you can add a little bit of oil into it. And then I use the same color for the middle tone. After, again, the same sort of method that I use. I go like a stripe. So the first stripe was the darkest dark that I did after the upper eyelid, which was the band dark brown. Then on top of that, I'm going to add another line or stripe lighter with this color that I just showed you. There. And then I'm going to divide these two a little bit. The flesh area underneath of the upper eyelid. I'm going to use a little bit of the same color on that. Okay, so now I'm going to make this faded. Like there. And then use a little bit of pink or alizarin crimson and orange. So you can use alizarin crimson with white in order to get your pink ready to go. And then you can add a little bit of orange to make that fleshy area of the inside the upper eyelid. So I'll put it there. And then in order to make it more like real, I'm going to add that flesh color, which is, let's see, oh sorry, it's hard to see. It's the red. This is alizarin crimson with a touch of orange and white. I'm going to add that touch of red into the corner of the eye here and there, you know, just in order to make it more like closer to real life. Like when you have Wayne there, you can see the Wayne there, you can see that red in the corner of your eye there. So I'll do the same thing. And then I'm going to add a little bit of light green and purple to and put it again here in between the thickness of the eyelash on top there. You know, first of all, because it's not straight, it has some ups and downs. It's subtle, but you can see those ups and downs there. And second is because, again, I want to have a little bit of the middle tone in between the lightest light that goes here on the upper eyelid and the darkest dark that I'll put underneath of that. And again, the same mid-tone, another stripe here on top of this one. And I can see it has like tooth on it, so I try not to make it really straight. And then use oil a little bit more here underneath of that line there. I could see a little bit of like ups and downs. Again, it's not a straight line, so I do something like this. Now I'm going to wash my brush. Sorry, you see. I'm going to wash that and do the upper eyelid, do the actual color. So again, I'm going to just use white and a little bit of green and a little bit of pink there to do that highlighted area. As I said, I'm mainly at the moment telling you to do pink because most of you, I assume, didn't do the pink underneath. So that's why I'm telling you to do the pink in order to keep up with the pink that I did already there, okay? But in case if anybody has done the pink with me in water-based oil or acrylics, then you don't need to use as much as pink that I'm telling everyone to do at the moment. The main reason that I'll tell you to do pink is because I've already can see that you haven't done the pink. You need to add more pink as you go. So again, see, it gives me a little bit of contrast there. I can see where I should go. Then I'm going to use my fat brush. Okay, small, still relatively small. And then I'm going to use ochre, cadmium red, the base color of the skin tone for white people. Cadmium red, yellow, and ochre. So mix those together, okay? And I can see the red there. So I'll put a little bit of red there. Okay. Oh, by the way, before I go further, I'll bring this a little bit closer so you can see what I did so far. Okay. Let me see, it's getting a little bit out of focus. blurry for you guys as well?
Yes, it is blurry now.
Hmm. Oh, that's weird. Sorry, let me see if it passes a bit. Time passes and it gets better. Oh, okay. So, should be fine now, hey?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah, that's lovely, thank you. So,
Sally, can I just ask you?
sure. Sure.
Sorry. When you're doing eyes,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't you do the other one at the same time?
You can do that, mainly
Yeah.
because I don't want to run out of the time, you know, if someone wants
Oh, okay.
something, you know, that's the main reason that I don't do it. And it's
Oh.
basically the same thing that I do on this eye. But, you know, just in case that someone wants to leave, then at least they
Oh, okay. Yep.
through. But yeah, because it's the same color. It's a
Yeah, that's why I was just interested.
yeah, it's way
Okay.
easier,
Okay.
faster if you do it. Maybe this is a little bit, I think, distracting. So I'll take this one away.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Are you doing the painting with me or are you just watching?
I'm just watching. You're going too fast for me. And you're not here to fix my mistakes.
True, actually watching is part of learning, so that's all good. So, yeah, and also the other thing that you can do, like for example, even if you do the burnt sienna, the mixture of the burnt sienna and brown or whatever that you do, and you find the same mixture somewhere else, you can do it somewhere else as well. So when you go there, you don't need to make it and put it there again and again, you know. So for example, when if I do that for myself, when I do it here on this side, the Van Dyke Brown, I'll put the Van Dyke Brown here as well, you know. Again, because it gives me the contrast there. So I just put the dark in the middle. A little bit of contrast on top as well. I mean, in order to make the contrast, I'll put a little bit of dark on top as well. And then here. Marguerite, by the way, I'm not sure if I answered you back on the email. You asked me that if I'm going to do the classes like normal classes again.
Yeah.
When,
Yeah. You
yeah,
didn't answer, no.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Cool, yeah. This is just, you know,
Yeah.
put,
Yeah, while the lockdown.
yeah, this is just for now.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
No worries. I was not sure if I answered you back.
No, I'm thinking, how's she going to fix all my stuff ups?
So again, I'll add a little bit of contrast here. And then also you can tell me what would you like to do? Like someone already told me she would like to do flowers. And I think on Friday morning, people they were interested to do a flower together, like a step by step painting.
I'd be happy to do flowers.
Yeah, so I'm happy to do the flower, but the one, the one that everyone.
Those beautiful roses.
Yeah, those ones, the puppy one. Yeah.
Sally, will they be step by step
Yeah, all of them.
from the beginning, or will they be mentoring?
Mentoring in the way that I'm going to like do a little bit of a painting each session to start with, and then I'll make sure that everybody is doing the same thing, and I'm going to look at your paintings again online and gives you some you know, tips or guidance as we go, so you're not like left behind, you know, like I've done some mistake and that's it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it would be way more interactive in order to make sure that you know what you're doing is right, you know.
So everyone will be doing the same reference?
Yeah, I'll send you the reference photo. For example, if it's a portrait, if it's a whatever that is, like in terms of the subject matter, I'm going to send you that. Or you can send me some photos. You say, for example, I'd like to do this one or that one. Exactly like the same step-by-step painting that I was doing before.
Yes, they were very good.
Yeah, so yeah, you can send me some photos and say, oh, this one or that one, I would like to do, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're talking
Okay,
about
that sounds
flowers,
good.
if you have got flowers that you want to do, you're welcome to send me that. And before we start doing it, I'm going to ask everyone if they're happy to do that. And if you're not happy,
Sounds good.
I mean, by all means, you can wait for the next one, or yeah, the next subject matter. Yeah, but for
That sounds good. Thanks, Sally.
no worries. For each, I'm going to divide it into the beginners and intermediate. I didn't do advanced because I thought that as long as I say intermediate, everybody's happy to attend. As soon as I say advanced, everybody's like, oh no. You know, so some people might be hesitant. So that's why I didn't call it advanced. But I mean, in general,
Yeah.
if you're really beginner, then you can do the beginner one if you haven't done that much of the painting before. But if
I need to go back to the Highgate Hill days. Gladstone.
hopefully this corona is going, and then let everybody go back to their normal life. Yeah, I missed classes, I missed the break time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So do I.
yeah, everything. Yeah. And unfortunately, I know some people cannot do stuff online at the moment, which is a shame. So they have any problem with the computer, or they're not really savvy with digital stuff, whatever that happens, that they cannot do stuff online. So yeah, that's not good. Okay, so see, I've got my goat's brush, the one that I told you on my email. Goat's brush, you can use mop brush, which is this one, like a blusher brush right here, like a blusher brush. Okay, blusher for ladies. And or goat's brush, which I really like. It's soft and nice, and it doesn't lose hair. Let's see which one is softer. I think this one is softer. Okay, so now I'm just going to give it a little bit of mop. Okay. And then again here for the lightest light area, maybe a little bit lighter, there you can see. Yeah. So for the lightest light area there, I'll use a clean brush, a little bit of white on it. You can use oil if your white is stiff. You're welcome to use oil a little bit. And then I'm going to use my Classico pink there first. Okay. So pink, Classico touch, and like if you say 10% pink or 15% pink and 85% of white. And I try to go on that dark line that I still can see coming through and get rid of it. I'll bring it forward for you once it's finished, because apparently as far as I can see on my laptop it doesn't show you that much. What's the color base? I'll show you. It's not white, but it looks completely white on my monitor. So bring it forward to show you what's the color. Now make it a little bit faded on that side, and then do the same thing here. Oh, see that's, yeah, that's the color that I'm doing here. Those lines there. Okay, and I'm going to do the other iris a little bit faster. I use the colors that I've done for the other eye for this eye and make it faster. So we're going to make black for the pupil, sap green, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue. And I'll do the pupil, and I'll do the darkness on top there, and a little bit of the lines there. And a little bit of the brown, again like a stripe, burnt sienna. And because this one is not as bright as that, I mean the iris is not as bright, I'm going to add a little bit of ochre into my cadmium yellow. Okay, so, and then a touch of green you can use. For this eye I use cadmium pale green, but for this one I use sap green, Australian leaf green, dark green AS. So less explanations. I'm going to do a little bit faster. I'm doing the pink for the corner of the eye there. Okay, when it's done, as I said, I'll bring it forward so you will see for yourself. There. Do a little bit of white again to my pink and green mixture for the line underneath there. Okay, and then I can see a little bit of the shadows here. Lots of white again, and cerulean blue in order to push it to the back, or if you have dark Susan purple. And a little bit on the upper eyelid there, just a touch. See there, it's not like the white is not starting exactly from the top of the eye, you know, you can see a little bit of dark there, just a touch of dark there. And then the light, as if this one goes a little bit in, this area goes a little bit in. Yeah, and I'm going to add a little bit of the blue again to make that shadow effect of the hair on the face. Okay. Sorry, I cannot be exactly thorough with the colors that I use at the moment. Like, just telling you what I'm adding, but we don't have that much time just for the demo to tell you exact things step by step. So that's why we do step-by-step painting classes. We know what happens in the class. But unfortunately, I cannot do it here to explain one by one, like what I'm doing exactly on each. Oh, thank you. Dennis came to help. Yes. So you can see better now. Yeah, thank you. All good. Thanks, perfect. Oh, thank you. Dennis is holding the camera for you. Dennis, in this case, you have to sit here forever. Huh? So now, since he's here, I'm going back. The angle is just a little bit not right. Yeah, a little bit going back and like this, like that. Yeah, that's perfect now. Yeah. So now I'm going to do the grey that I was doing for the other eye. So I put a little bit of grey here. And it gives me a nice contrast between the line on the nose and the eye. Thank you. Oh, it's getting a little bit blurry now. Oh yeah, perfect.
I put
So,
this for you
now-
so you can show it.
Yeah, no, that's all good. So now it's wet all the way through. I want to make it a little bit faded compared to this one that comes closer. So you can wipe your brush off. And make it a little bit faded. And then wash your tiny brush, because I'm going to do the eyelashes and lower eyelid and all that here and there. And I'll make it a little bit faded as I go as well to the skin tone. Okay. And then here too. Okay, so I'm going to make my Van Dyke brown a little bit runny with oil, and then doing the eyelashes. Okay, so when you see that's a really tiny brush like that. Okay. And then I make my paint runny, and I try to get them right with one brush stroke. In the darker areas, I try to make it a little bit darker. I think you need to make it a little bit darker there. So I do this for the darker ones. And then making a little bit of fading there in between the lines. Just make sure that there is no gap in between. And also I've got enough mid-tones there. More middle tones would give you more depth and make it more real. Less middle tones, like if you have just dark and light next to each other like this, without the middle tone in between, then it makes more like an angle sort of thing, you know. But like my finger, if you have more middle tones from light to dark, then it makes it rounder for you. So I just try to make sure that, for example, if I have the dark there, in between the dark on top and the light on the bottom, I've got enough middle tones in between. And then I'm going to do a little bit of the color for the other side of the face, left hand side, just adding a little bit of like off-white color or whatever you had as a base, like ochre, cadmium red, and white. Just plenty of white, just make a little bit of contrast there, so it's not like white next to white. If we say, you know, like light next to light, it's not white there, but you don't want to make it the same. You want to get depth on the other side of the face, so I'll add a little bit of contrast here. Okay, and I'll bring it forward again to show you what I did there. And the other thing that I want to do is annoying me, since I did the iris, I need to make this one on top faded because it gets the light from the upper eyelid. So complementary colors, I've done yellow there, so I'm going to add purple into my yellow in order to get that shadow bits on top there. Okay, so the same thing on the other eye. Okay, and I can see more like a pure burnt sienna there. Okay, and if you like, you can add a little bit of those lines. Oh, thank you. Then it's showing you a little bit of stuff that's happening on my palette. So again, I'm adding more like middle tones here. I think it's getting blurry again. Yeah. I think it's becoming, oh yeah, no, it's great.
It's because of this. Move the camera to the other side.
No, 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 it's all good, thank you. So again here, I'm adding middle tones there and there, and then I'll show you a little bit of the hair too. For these ones, if you find it strong, You can just make it faded with your blusher brush, like that. Okay. So now I'm going to do a little bit of the hair for you guys today. So I do the dark brown bits first. It'll make it longer so you can see better. So it's deep dark brown there. That even if you want to make it darker, you can add blue, ultramarine blue into your Van Dyke brown, or more ultramarine blue into your burnt sienna. Like this, and I'm starting with a normal flat sable brush. And then here you have got more, there you've got more of the burnt sienna colour. So add more burnt sienna. So I'll start doing the darks first. And then like a middle tone again here. And then I'll wash my brush here. I'll wash it. And then I'm going to use ochre, white, and a little bit of cadmium yellow. So it's too yellow, I'm adding a little bit of burnt sienna and orange into it as well. And with lots of white. And if you find your orange too orange or like too bright, you can add blue. Or if you're using ochre and you find it like too yellow, you can add purple. So now, after you got to this stage, I'm going to use my fan brush. Yeah. It's not hard, it's not soft, it's something in between. Okay, I'm going to use lots of oil. And then see like that, you can just add the highlights. Oh, sorry, I think it gets blurry. And then I'm going to use my trim brush. Maybe longer trim. Let's do more like the strands of the hair. This is just the underneath. I like the best one. So, see, these are my trim brushes. So I'm just going to add more like strands of the hair on my palette. And because we're doing this wet on wet, if you find it too hard to do, then after each brush stroke, it's nicer and easier if you wipe your brush off. No one has got any questions? Yeah. Feel free to ask questions if you like. No? So now I'm going on the face, you know, the ones that I did, like I told you to make the hair a little bit shorter, go back up again. In order to do the face first, so I'm doing that. So I went back up. Now I can do the hair on the eye. I'm running out of the Van Dog brown, so I'll put more like Van Dog brown for that one there. Again, for if you use trimmed brushes, you have to add lots of oil in order to make it runny, that it gives you like individual strands of the hair. And I'll wipe it off. The same thing that I explained for the landscape last time would be applied for this one. Like you can do the whole shape of the hair first. Where does the light go? Where does the dark go? What's the closest color? And then you can let it dry, and then go back next time and with liner or like more like trimmed. Sorry, here more like trimmed brushes. Then you can go on top with the second layer, because see, this is realism. So it means that you can go on top of this up to I don't know, like 100 layers, as much as you like, you know. So you can work on realism style if you like it for as long as you like.
Excuse me, Sally.
Yes.
How long do you let it dry before you do the second layer?
As long as it's touch dry.
How long?
It depends
Days
on
or
the
weeks?
thickness that you do. It depends on the thickness that you do the first time. Like maybe these are a little bit thicker. When I do the faded areas, and I'll mop it, it makes the layer thinner. So even it goes dry faster. I think that it depends on the humidity and temperature, maybe like 2-3 days. Then you can
Mm-hmm.
on top. And also it depends what sort of medium you use. See, I can use this one, fast evaporating one, and it's really runny as well, so it dries even tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can use just, you know, like slow drying, or even this one again, fast drying medium, but it's more like oil consistency. So this takes maybe
No, it's not linseed oil.
no, this is painting medium language.
Mm-hmm.
It's called painting medium in language. Yeah. So
Do you ever use liquid?
yeah, liquid is nice. So, I used to use liquid a lot actually, but not at the moment because honestly, at the time we didn't have that much options. Liquid was
Mm-hmm.
one of the few ones that was getting dry fast. But then
And that medium is for oil and or
yeah,
acrylic?
they're all for oil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the liquid is that sometimes it doesn't make it runny as much as you like.
Yes, it's a gel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gel, so it's not as runny. So that was my initial problem after a while with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
Thank you.
yeah. Anything that makes it a little bit runnier for the eyelashes and the hair part, that works.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now I'll go back. I'll let this be because initially I just want to when I want to do the eyelashes wet on wet, which I'm going to do at the moment, I'll let that sit a bit. Then it gets a little bit stiff. So when I do the eyelashes, I don't drag everything along with me as I go. Okay, all the colors. But if you have time, I mean, the ideal, if you ask me, the ideal thing to do is to let that dry for the eyelashes, and then do that like, you know, slowly and like carefully, and go with the way that the eye goes, you know, whatever you see on the photo. And if something goes wrong, then you can wipe it off because everything underneath is dry. So if you let it dry and then do this, if something goes wrong, you can wipe it off with cotton buds and oil, a little bit of oil. You can dab it in oil and wipe it off. But at the moment, if I do, hopefully it doesn't go wrong, but if it goes wrong, if you're doing it at the moment, if it goes wrong, then sort of you have to stick with it or go back and do all of these stuff that we did, and then again make the eyelashes. So I think it's better to, especially if you do realism, it's better to let it dry, and the things that you have to do, like the strands of the hair, or like you know, like these eyelashes here, those ones there, like one by one, it's better to let it dry and then go back on that. So you can make sure if it goes wrong, you have the option to wipe it off.
That's great. Thanks, Sally.
You're welcome. So I'll try to get as many as I can at the moment, just to show you. And the main thing that I do, show you here, is I'll start with, for example, if that's the thickness of the upper eyelid, then I'll start to put my brush in the middle there, and then I'll just do this, and I'll try to let it go and let it fade into the you know, like automatically as it goes on top. So whatever you do, like you try to make it faded and natural like this. So when you're running out of the paint, then it makes it thinner and fades it out, so it makes it more natural.
You could always get real eyelashes and stick it on it.
Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah, true.
You know those ones you buy in the chemist?
Yeah, true. So after I've done this, I'll bring it a little bit closer, then I'll show you what I did. And yet again, add a little bit of oil. And the same thing with the with that white dot in the middle, you know, I'm trying to put that one back on again when it's dry, because at the moment everything around it is wet. And as soon as I want to do it, I cannot make it as light as I want if I let it dry first. So I prefer to let that dry and do it next time. The same thing, I'll show you what I did. What's the finishing product next up. Okay, so I'll bring it a little bit closer. Show you what happened. You see that? There's a line. Yeah, like that. These are my eyelashes. I see like the difference here between the skin tone there and that one. That's really bright light, because this one is the one that comes forward. Actually, I'm looking at that now. I can make it a little bit faded in between as well. So maybe I can just add a little bit of the touch here. You can make it faded. As much as I say, as much as you add middle tones, it looks better. So see, when I see that there's ends, the dark ends, and the line, the highlight starts without the fading, I make another color, which is not as light as this, not as dark as that, and I'll put it in the middle, and I'll try to make that faded. So again, it makes it rounder. Even maybe I need to add another mid-tone here in between that dark and the light there, you know. So yeah, as I said, you can work on this as much as you feel like it looks better. The other thing that you can do is to take a photo, or look at it in a mirror. I love that one as well. So hold your painting and look at your painting in the mirror, so you can see if something is wrong, or if you need to add some darknesses or highlights, or if you need to add some fadings or whatever happens there, you'll see better. Yeah, so I think it's 5 o'clock nearly, and hopefully you learned something from this session too. And thank you for being online. So for the next time that I'm going to do the classes, after these 2 free sessions for the next time, I'll send you the days that I'm going to do, and it depends how many people I'm going to get in each class. When it gets to the certain number, then I'll start doing the class. So please give me feedback and let me know what would you like to do, what's your preferable time. If you were happy with this Saturday this time, I can do Saturdays, Sundays around this time. I can do nights or even mornings, but let me know what you think, that I can handle the classes this way better. I can gather the numbers and we can start. And I think I'll send you the info about like how much it would be and all that. But you can find it if you go through your emails. But if you couldn't find it, please let me know. Still, working on the stuff. So near future, I'll send you more information about how and what we're going to do. So any questions?
Thanks, Sally. That was so good.
Thank you so much.
Hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye all.
Thanks, Ali. That was
Bye.
excellent. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, bye, Sally. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.